Grillax had collected information about deadly creatures from 47 worlds. His database contained over 3,000 entries. He knew which planets had venomous air, which moons harbored parasites that could eat through metal, and which forests grew trees that consumed flesh. But the human sitting across from him at the food court remained a mystery. The Galactic Assembly's Wildlife Summit had brought representatives from across known space to Station Helix 9. For 3 days, they had discussed quarantine zones, dangerous species, and protected habitats. Earth had been mentioned several times. The records called it a Class 4 hazard world, deadly atmosphere variations, extreme temperature zones, predators in every environment. Yet the human looked so soft. Danny Reeves was his name, a cultural liaison according to his badge. He sat alone at a small table, eating something red and wet from a container, some kind of fruit perhaps. He did not look dangerous. He had no claws, no scales, no visible weapons. His skin seemed thin enough to tear with a gentle touch. Grillax approached on his 6 legs, his mandibles clicking in greeting. "Human, may I join you?" Danny looked up and smiled. "Of course, please." The smile bothered Grillax. He had studied human facial expressions. A smile meant friendliness, supposedly. But there was something behind this one, something knowing. "I have a question," Grillax said, settling his large body onto the bench across from Danny. "I am compiling data on apex predators from all member worlds. Your planet is famous for dangerous creatures, yes?" "It has a few," Danny said. He took another bite of his fruit. "Then tell me, what is Earth's apex predator?" Danny stopped chewing. He set down his food and wiped his hands on a small cloth. For a long moment he said nothing. He just looked at Grillax with that strange smile. The silence stretched. Grillax felt his secondary heart begin to beat faster. He had faced creatures that could dissolve his exoskeleton. He had walked through poison clouds on Verath 6, but something about this silence made him deeply uncomfortable. "That depends," Danny finally said. "What do you mean by apex predator?" "The most dangerous creature, the one at the top of the food chain, the one that all others fear." Danny nodded slowly. "I see, and you want a simple answer." "I want the truth." The human laughed. It was a soft sound, not threatening, but Grillax noticed that several aliens at nearby tables had turned to look. A Pelani scientist named Lyra had stopped walking and was now listening openly. Even old Counselor Drom, the ancient tree-like Verdani, had shifted his massive body toward their table. "The truth is complicated," Danny said. "Earth has many predators, great white sharks in the oceans, lions on the grasslands, bears in the forests, crocodiles in the rivers. Any of them could kill a human easily." "Then one of those is your apex predator." "No." Grillax leaned forward. "Then what?" Danny's smile grew wider. "Would you like me to show you? I could arrange a presentation at the Human Cultural Archive tomorrow. Bring anyone who is curious." "Why not simply tell me now?" "Because you would not believe me. You need to see it. You need to understand the context." Danny picked up his fruit again. "Besides, some answers should not be given in a crowded food court." Grillax considered this. The human was playing some kind of game, but curiosity burned in his mind like fire. He had to know. "Very well, tomorrow I will be there." "Bring others," Danny said. "The more the better. I think everyone should hear this." Lyra stepped closer. "I would like to attend for scientific purposes." "Me too," rumbled Counselor Drom. His voice was like wind through ancient branches. "I have lived 800 years. I have seen predators from 1,000 worlds. I doubt a soft creature like you can surprise me." Danny looked at the old Verdani. His smile did not waver. "With respect, Counselor, I think you might be wrong about that." Drom made a sound that might have been a laugh. "We shall see, human, we shall see." Danny finished his fruit and stood. He was shorter than Grillax, smaller than Drom, weaker than almost everyone in the food court. But as he walked away, Grillax noticed something strange. The other aliens moved aside for him, not dramatically, not fearfully, just slightly, unconsciously, as if some deep instinct told them to give this soft, smiling creature space. Grillax added a note to his database: human behavior unusual, further investigation required. Tomorrow could not come soon enough. 12 aliens gathered in the Human Cultural Archive the next day. The room was small compared to other species' exhibits. Humans had only been in the galactic community for 30 years. They had not yet earned a larger space. Danny Reeves stood at the front, a display screen behind him. He had changed clothes. Now he wore something dark and simple, professional, Grillax thought. The human was taking this seriously. "Thank you all for coming," Danny said. "Yesterday, Ambassador Grillax asked me a simple question: what is Earth's apex predator? Today, I will try to answer that question. But first, let me show you what most humans would say." He touched a control, and the screen came alive. A massive fish appeared, gray and white, with rows of triangular teeth. It moved through blue water with terrifying grace. "The great white shark," Danny said. "Up to 6 meters long, 300 teeth, can smell blood from 5 kilometers away. It has been hunting in Earth's oceans for millions of years." The aliens murmured appreciatively. This was a proper predator. The image changed. A golden creature with a thick mane of fur crouched in tall grass. The lion, called the king of beasts by many human cultures, lives in family groups, hunts together, can bring down prey 10 times its size. More murmurs. Grillax made notes. These creatures were impressive. More images followed. Bears that stood 3 meters tall, crocodiles that had not changed in 200 million years, wolves that hunted in coordinated packs, venomous snakes that could kill with a single bite. "Any of these could be called apex predators," Danny said. "They sit at the top of their food chains. They have no natural enemies. They kill to survive." Counselor Drom shifted his great body. "So Earth has many apex predators. This is not unusual. Most worlds have several." "True," Danny said, "but I have not answered the question yet." He changed the image again. This time a tiny creature appeared. It had thin legs, delicate wings, and a long needle-like mouth. "The mosquito," Danny said. Lyra made a confused sound. That is the size of my smallest feather. How is that dangerous?" "The mosquito does not kill directly. It carries diseases, parasites, viruses. Over the course of human history, this tiny creature has killed more humans than any other animal on Earth. Billions of deaths. We call it the deadliest animal in the world." The room went silent. "Billions," Grillax repeated. "That small thing killed billions of your kind." "Yes, and we still have not eliminated it. It adapts. It survives. It breeds faster than we can kill it." A large, muscular alien in the back row laughed. This was Chief Morath, a Gorvathi warrior who had hunted on 30 worlds. "So your apex predator is a bug that carries disease? That is disappointing, human." Danny did not seem offended. "I did not say the mosquito was our apex predator. I said it killed the most humans. There is a difference." "Then what is the answer?" Morath demanded. Danny smiled, that same knowing smile from yesterday. "Patience, we are getting there." He changed the display again. Now the images showed creatures that looked wrong somehow, twisted, ancient. "These are animals that no longer exist," Danny said. "The saber-toothed cat, fangs like knives, the dire wolf, larger and stronger than any wolf alive today. The cave bear, the giant hyena, the short-faced bear which could run as fast as a horse." The creatures looked terrifying. Even Morath stopped laughing. "These were the apex predators of their time," Danny continued. "They ruled their territories. They had no equal." "What happened to them?" Lyra asked quietly. Danny's smile faded. For the first time, his expression became serious, dark. "They met something worse." He turned off the display. The room fell into shadow. "They met us." Nobody spoke, nobody moved. "Every major predator that competed with early humans eventually went extinct," Danny said. "Every single one. The saber-toothed cats disappeared. The dire wolves vanished. The giant bears died out. We did not have claws, we did not have fangs, we did not have venom, but somehow we survived, and they did not. Counselor Drom's voice was barely a whisper. You killed them all. Danny nodded once. Yes, we did, and that is still not the full answer. Grillax felt a chill run through his exoskeleton. He was beginning to understand why the human had wanted to show them instead of tell them. Some truths needed to be seen to be believed. The display flickered back to life. This time it showed something primitive. Rough drawings on stone walls, stick figures holding long shapes, larger figures with tusks and fur. These are cave paintings, Danny said. Made by our ancestors over 40,000 years ago. They show humans hunting mammoths. Morath leaned forward, his hunting instincts engaged. What is a mammoth? Imagine an animal the size of a small shuttle, covered in thick fur, two long tusks made of solid bone, weighing 10,000 kilograms now. Imagine a group of humans with wooden spears trying to kill it. Impossible, Morath said. Wooden spears against that, the humans would die. Many did, but they kept hunting anyway. The image changed to show a reconstruction. A mammoth towered over tiny human figures. The humans looked pathetic in comparison, weak, helpless. We had no claws, Danny said. No fangs, no armor, no venom. We could not run fast, we could not see in the dark. By every measure, we should have been prey, not predators. Then how? Lyra asked. Her feathers were pressed flat against her body, a sign of fear Grillax knew. We cheated. Danny touched the control again. A video began to play. It showed humans running across an open plain, chasing a four-legged animal. This is called persistence hunting. Humans cannot run fast, but they can run far. They can run for hours without stopping. Days sometimes. Most animals cannot do this. They sprint fast, but they must stop to rest, to cool down. The video continued. The animal ran, then stopped. The humans kept coming. The animal ran again, stopped again. The humans never stopped. We would chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion, until its muscles failed, until its heart gave out. Then we would walk up to it and kill it while it lay helpless on the ground. Silence filled the room. That is not hunting, Morath said slowly. That is horror. That is survival, Danny replied. Earth was not kind to us. We had to become unkind to survive. He showed more images. Humans with spears, humans with bows, humans with traps and snares and nets. We learned to make tools, weapons. We learned to work together. 1 human is weak. 10 humans are dangerous. 100 humans are unstoppable. All species work together, Grillax pointed out. We Vanthari have hive structures. The Gorvathi hunt in war parties. Yes, but humans did something else. We did not just hunt for food. We hunted to eliminate competition. The display showed a map of Earth. Red dots appeared across every continent. Everywhere humans went, the large predators disappeared. Not because we ate them, because they were threats, because they competed for the same prey, because they might attack our children. More images, bones in the ground, fossils of massive creatures. The saber-toothed cats are gone. The cave bears are gone. The giant wolves and hyenas are gone. We did not just survive them. Predators, we removed them permanently. Counselor Drom spoke, his voice heavy. You committed genocide against other species. Danny did not flinch. We did what we had to do, or we believed we did. Whether it was right or wrong, I cannot say, but it happened. It is our history. How many species? Lyra asked. How many did you destroy? Hundreds, perhaps thousands if we count the smaller ones. Every continent we reached lost its megafauna within a few thousand years of our arrival. Australia, the Americas, Europe, Asia, everywhere. Morath stood suddenly. His massive body cast a shadow over the room. I have hunted on 30 worlds. I have killed creatures that would give nightmares to most species, but I have never hunted something to extinction. That is not hunting. That is war. Danny looked up at the Gorvathi warrior. His smile returned, but it was sad now, tired. Yes, he said quietly. It was war, and we won. Against every species that challenged us, we won. Not because we were stronger or faster or deadlier, but because we never stopped, we never gave up, we never forgot a threat. He paused, and we never forgave one either. The room was absolutely silent. Every alien stared at the small, soft human standing before them, the creature with no claws, no fangs, no armor. The creature that had waged war against nature itself and won. Grillax updated his database again, previous entry insufficient. Humans are not soft, humans are patient, humans remember. And apparently, humans hold grudges for generations. A young Pelani named Yelly raised a trembling wing. She had been recording everything for her studies. Now she wished she had stayed in her quarters. If you hunted other species to extinction, she said, then humans must be Earth's apex predator. The question is answered. Danny shook his head. Not yet. I have shown you what we did to other species. Now I must show you what we did to ourselves. The display changed again. This time it showed humans facing other humans, armies, weapons, fire, and smoke. Humans did not just hunt animals, we hunted each other. Moreth laughed, but the sound was nervous. All species have conflicts. We Gorvathi fought territorial wars in ancient times. How many Gorvathi died in your worst war? Moreth thought about it. Perhaps 50,000. It was a dark time in our history. In one human war, 60 million died. The number hung. In the air, nobody spoke, nobody could speak. 60 million, Grillax finally managed, in one conflict. We call it World War II. It lasted 6 years. Entire cities were destroyed. New weapons were created just to kill more efficiently. By the end, we had built bombs that could destroy everything within kilometers. The display showed the images, cities reduced to rubble, fields covered with bodies, machines designed only for death. This was not your worst war? Counselor Drom asked. In terms of deaths, it was the worst single conflict. But we have had hundreds of wars, thousands. Going back to the beginning of recorded history, humans have always fought humans. Lyra's feathers were completely flat now. Why would you do this to your own species? Resources, territory, religion, pride, fear. Sometimes for reasons we cannot even explain anymore. War is as natural to humans as breathing. He showed more images, ancient warriors with swords, medieval knights on horseback, soldiers with guns, pilots dropping bombs from the sky. Each generation built better weapons, sharper blades, stronger armor, faster guns, bigger explosions. We turned our intelligence toward destruction, and we became very, very good at it. This is madness, Yelly whispered. You are insane creatures. Perhaps, but consider this. Every war taught us something, how to organize large groups, how to supply armies across vast distances, how to communicate quickly, how to solve problems under pressure. War made us more efficient, more clever, more dangerous. Moreth had sat back down, his hunting pride had faded. I have killed hundreds of creatures across 30 worlds. I thought I understood predators, but this is something else. The Gorvathi fight for food and territory, Danny said. The Vanthari fight to protect the hive, but humans fight for ideas, for concepts, for things you cannot touch or see. We will kill and die for words written on paper, for lines drawn on maps, for beliefs that exist only in our minds. He paused, letting that sink in. That is what makes us truly dangerous. We do not fight because we must. We fight because we choose to, because we believe we are right. And when a human believes they are right, they become unstoppable. Grillax thought about his own species. The Vanthari were peaceful now. They had evolved past violence. They solved conflicts through negotiation and trade. The idea of killing millions over an idea was impossible to understand. You said this was not the answer either, he said slowly. If humans hunt animals and humans hunt humans, what more is there? Danny's smile returned, but it was different now, softer, almost gentle. There is one more thing, the most important thing, the thing that actually answers your question. Show us, Counselor Drom said, His voice was heavy with exhaustion. "Show us everything. We have come too far to stop now." Danny nodded. "Follow me to the next room. What I will show you there may surprise you more than everything you have seen so far." The aliens stood slowly. Their bodies were tense. Their minds were struggling to process what they had learned. They had come expecting a simple answer about predators. They had found something far more complex. Something far more terrifying. Yelly paused at the door. "Should we be afraid of humans?" she asked quietly. Danny looked at her with something like kindness. "That depends. Have you given us a reason to remember you?" She had no answer for that. Nobody did. The next room was different, soft lighting. Comfortable seats arranged in a circle, no display screen at the front, just walls covered with images. Images of humans helping animals. Grillax stopped in the doorway, confused. A picture showed a human carefully holding a small bird, cleaning oil from its feathers. Another showed humans feeding a baby elephant from a bottle. A third showed a wolf wearing some kind of medical device while humans monitored its health. "What is this?" Morath demanded. "More tricks." "No tricks," Danny said. He gestured for everyone to sit. "This is the part most aliens never hear about. This is why humans are truly special." They sat. The chairs were comfortable, designed for multiple body types. Danny remained standing in the center of the circle. "I have shown you what humans can do. We hunt, we fight, we destroy. We drove species to extinction and killed millions of our own kind." He paused. "But that is not the full story, because at some point we made a choice." He walked to one of the images, a massive gray animal with wrinkled skin and large ears. "This is an elephant. 100 years ago, we were hunting them toward extinction. We wanted their tusks for decoration. Their population dropped by 90%. "Another species you destroyed," Drom said. "Almost, but then we stopped." Danny touched the image. More pictures appeared. Elephants in protected areas, armed guards watching over them, scientists studying their behavior. "We created laws to protect them. We sent soldiers to guard them. We spent millions of resource units to save a species we had almost destroyed." Lyra leaned forward. "Why, what changed?" "We chose to change. We looked at what we had done and decided it was wrong. We decided that being the apex predator did not mean destroying everything. It meant having responsibility." More images, wolves being released into forests, whales swimming free in the ocean, birds being bred in captivity and released into the wild. "We hunted the wolf to extinction in many areas. Then we spent decades bringing it back. We almost killed every whale in the ocean. Then we banned hunting and helped them recover. We destroyed forests. Then we planted new ones." Grillax tried to process this. "You caused damage, then repaired it." "We tried to. We are still trying. Not because we have to, because we choose to." Danny sat down in an empty chair, joining the circle. "This is what the other species do not understand about humans. Yes, we can destroy. We have proven that many times, but we can also create. We can protect. We can heal. And when we decide to do these things, we pursue them with the same intensity we once used for war." Yelly spoke quietly. "But you still have the capacity for destruction." "Yes, always. That never goes away. A human can be kind and gentle for their entire life, but the potential for violence is always there. Every human carries both possibilities inside them." "That is terrifying," she said. "It is also hopeful, because it means every act of kindness is a choice. Every moment of peace is a decision. We are not peaceful because we lack the ability to fight. We are peaceful because we choose to be, despite having that ability." Counselor Drom had been silent for a long time. Now he spoke, his voice like rustling leaves. "I have met many predators in my 800 years. Some were mindless killers, some were sophisticated hunters, but all of them acted according to their nature. They could not choose to be different." He looked at Danny with ancient, knowing eyes. "You are saying humans are different. You can choose what you are." "Exactly. We are not bound by instinct. Every generation, every individual makes their own choice. Will we be destroyers or protectors, hunters or guardians? We wake up each day and decide. And what have you decided? Grillex asked. As a species. Danny smiled, that same smile from the beginning, but now Grillax understood it better. It was not threatening. It was not arrogant. It was the smile of someone carrying a heavy weight and still choosing to move forward. We decided to be better, not perfect. We still make mistakes. We still fight. We still cause harm, but we are trying. We looked at our history of blood and fire and we said, this is not who we want to be. He stood again. That is why humans are the apex predator of Earth. Not because we can destroy anything, but because we can destroy anything and choose not to. That choice, made fresh every day by billions of individuals, is the most powerful thing in the universe. The room was silent, but it was a different kind of silence than before, less fearful, more thoughtful. Something had shifted. Grillax stood slowly. His mind was full of new information, new ideas, new fears, but one question remained. You have shown us predators and prey, hunters and wars, destruction and protection, but you still have not directly answered my original question. He clicked his mandibles firmly. What is Earth's apex predator? Danny looked at him for a long moment. Then he looked at each alien in turn. Morath, the warrior who had hunted 30 worlds. Lyra, the scientist who studied death for a living. Yeli, the student who now understood more than she ever wanted to. Counselor Drom, who had seen empires rise and fall over 8 centuries. You are looking at it, Danny said simply. The room went still. Me, Grillax asked, a human. All of us, every human. We are Earth's apex predator, not the sharks, not the lions, not the wolves or bears or crocodiles. Humans. Morath snorted. Impossible, you have no weapons built into your body. No claws, no armor, no venom. In direct combat, any of the creatures you showed would destroy you. True, one-on-one I would lose to a lion, but humans do not fight one-on-one. We fight in groups, we make tools, we plan, we adapt. Danny held up his soft, clawless hands. These hands built spears that killed mammoths, built bows that brought down elephants, built guns that ended the age of predators, built rockets that let us leave our planet entirely. He dropped his hands. The apex predator is not the strongest creature. It is the one that cannot be stopped. Every obstacle humans faced, we overcame. Every threat we eliminated. Every environment we conquered. We spread across Earth, then reached for the stars. And here we are, sitting in a space station talking to species from other worlds. Counselor Drom spoke. Should we fear you? Danny considered the question seriously. He did not give a quick answer. You should understand us, he finally said. Fear without understanding leads to mistakes, and mistakes with humans can be permanent. You speak as if you are threatening us, Lyra said. No, I am warning you. There is a difference. A threat is aggressive, a warning is protective. Danny sat back down. I want the galaxy to understand what humans are, the good and the bad, the capacity for destruction and the choice of protection. If you understand us, we can work together. If you misunderstand us, things could go very wrong. Yeli raised her wing. What do you want from us? Nothing you do not want to give. Humanity seeks partners, not subjects. We learned long ago that empire leads to ruin. We would rather have friends, he smiled. Even friends who are sometimes afraid of us. Grillax thought about his database, 3,000 entries on dangerous creatures, none of them compared to what he had learned today. Humans were in a category by themselves. I will update my records, he said. Humans, Earth's apex predator, capable of extreme destruction, capable of extreme protection, approach with caution and respect. Danny nodded. That seems fair. The next day, the Wildlife Summit held its final vote. Several motions were on the table. One proposal wanted to upgrade Earth from a hazard world to a quarantine zone, completely isolated from galactic contact. The vote failed. Another proposal suggested accepting humans as full partners in the Wildlife Preservation Council. It passed, though not unanimously. Grillax found Counselor Drom afterward. The ancient Verdani was standing by a viewing window, looking out at the stars. "You voted to include the humans," Grillax said. "After everything we learned about their history, why?" Drom was quiet for a long time. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of centuries. "I have lived 800 years. I have seen predators from 1,000 worlds, species that killed without thought, species that destroyed without purpose, species that consumed everything and left nothing behind." He turned to look at Grillax with ancient eyes. "But I have never met a predator that chose to stop. That looked at its own nature and decided to be something better. That is either the most dangerous thing in the universe or the most hopeful, perhaps both." "You trust them?" "I trust that they are trying, and I trust that the human who showed us our presentation believes in what he said. That is enough for now." Grillax looked out the window. Somewhere in the station, Danny Reeves was probably eating fruit and smiling that strange smile. The soft creature with no claws, the apex predator who chose peace. "I think," Grillax said slowly, "that the galaxy is about to become very interesting." Counselor Drom made that sound again, the one that might have been a laugh. "It already has, my friend, it already has."